Hi there, it's Ina here, and I already started on a new art journal prompt page. I added gesso, and while the gesso is still wet, I am adding a piece of parchment paper on top, and when I pull it off, it leaves a very subtle texture. Now, you probably won't see it here on camera, but it is there. And now I'm working with my Neocolor 2. These are water soluble crayons, and I'm just adding different shades of yellow, red, and purple. Now, these art journal prompt pages are short and quick projects, and that's one reason why I don't have too many videos showing how I make these, as I work all over the house when I do this, sometimes on the balcony, sometimes in the kitchen, and so on. But today I thought I better push the record button. Now, this part I sped up quite a bit because it's very simple. It's just coloring, and now I am blending everything. And today I use gesso instead of water. It gives a little bit of a different look, a little softer. It blends nicely as well. And that's the look I was going for. Now, the prompt for this week is hearts. Now, hearts are not something I use very often in my art journaling or in my art, but I was reminded of a little technique I used to do as a little girl, and you will see in a moment. First, I want to add a little more interest to the background. So here is a stencil, and it's like an old-fashioned tapestry design, and I'm using one of those scrubby sponge daubers and gesso. And I just want a little imprint here and there. I don't want it really clear all over, just a little bit. And the same for the stamping here. I use archival ink and two different stamps to start with, just for more interest. And a little splatter, of course, is always welcome. And then I'm adding one more stamp. And then let's see what I'm going to do next. Oh yeah, and here is just a piece of copy paper, and I cut out a heart. And now I'm using my neo colors again to make an edge. I choose brown. Of course, you could use any color or different colors. And you are probably familiar with this little technique, but I have not done this since I was a little girl. I used to cover my school book in these little fuzzy outlines of hearts. So all you do, you put color on the edges. We used to use colored pencils, and that worked fine. But these neon color, of course, smudge real nicely. Yeah, and then you just smudge the edges. That's all there is to it. Super simple. And I'm cutting the same heart down. You'll see a couple of times. So I can make a few smaller hearts inside each other. And if you see that you don't have enough to smudge, you can always add a little more of the color. Of course, if you cut your heart down like I am doing here, make sure your last image on your paper is complete before you cut down your heart. Now, when you get this little outline, first of course, it's a little fuzzy, but it also gives a little 3D effect, and it's quite cool, I think. So here we go, one more, and I sped this up because, yeah, it's over and over the same thing. Now, I have actually posted a video last week of my first 26 art journal prompt pages of the year. So if you have not seen it yet, please go down in my description box, follow the link, and have a look. I hope you will like it. Now a little archival ink just around the edges, but I want to create a dark background to make the heart pop a little more. So I'm just making some lines for a frame, just using a Sharpie. And then I will be using simple black acrylic paint to fill it in. First, I make a little line, just same distance than the border away from the heart. I just eyeball it and try to get a decent shape there. And then I just fill it in. That's it. I think the black helps the other colors to pop a lot more. And of course, yeah, I'm picky and I want it to go straight. Of course, it doesn't have to be all that straight because It is just an art journal page, and perfection is not needed. But yeah, sometimes I fiddle too much with little details. Come on, Ina, not so hard. Get it done. So the top is done. Now the bottom part, same idea. And actually, I lined the border a little bit wrongly on the right side. Well, wrongly. It's probably fine. It could be fine. But because my heart is going off the page on the right side, I think my border should also continue. And you see, I fix it in a moment, and I think it looks way better. So here I'm all done, and I'm looking at it, and yep, I got it. So these need to continue, and I think that looks much better. All right, there it is. Now I want to give it one more little focal point, as of course it is a super simple page, but that's the whole idea of these art journal prompt pages. Do something simple, and hey, there is a lot of fun to be found in simplicity. So here is a little heart. I outline it with my Sharpie and I fill it in. And again, I have to fiddle with it to get it just right. And now just the prompt itself. I put the prompt in each of my prompt pages. That way I don't have to think about quotes or anything like that. I just have the prompt right there. And I'm using my white Posca pen. First I just write it down, and then of course I go back, make it a little bolder, make sure the letters are all nicely shaped. And I think that brings me pretty much to the end of my video here. This was fun, simple, and satisfying. I hope you enjoyed it too. Here are a couple more close ups of my little page. Come and see me soon again. Bye bye.